Hey everybody, welcome to another Admissionado Insider's Guide. This time, IMD, lovely Swiss school. My name is Yaron Dahan, and I am an admissions consultant at Admissionado, have been for 5 years, and I'm originally from New York, have lived in Europe for, I think, 11 years in total, not in Switzerland, not yet anyways, but in France, Germany, Spain, and Czech Republic. So countries that are not too far as well. But I'm here to talk to you about IMD as part of or one of the European MBA programs. IMD is very, very unique, and we'll get to the unique aspects of IMD shortly. But first, let's talk about the uniqueness of the European MBA program. So, first of all, is different from the US programs. The European MBAs are generally shorter, sometimes 1 year, or most of the time 1 year, like INSEAD and IMD. Sometimes a bit longer, like HEC, which is 16 months. And sometimes there's other odd ones in there, but for the most part, they're 1 year. Why is that good? Think about it, and we'll see it in, I think, 2 slides or 3. Second thing, very good deadlines. IMD, one of the premier European MBA programs, but the deadlines are early in the year, January, February, March, April. So very good for people who are coming in late to the MBA application idea, basically. And so very, very good for people who are coming a little bit late or people who didn't get accepted to US programs and still want to matriculate in the next year. Third unique factor is that their access to jobs in Europe makes sense since the MBA is in Europe. In general, each school has good placements not only in Europe, but in Europe, but in their specific country. But not only in Europe, but also they place very well internationally, meaning Asia, Africa, Latin America, and so on. The programs are global and diverse, which is probably one of the reasons why they play so well internationally, as are the student bodies. So we're talking about international student bodies of over 90%. More than 90% of the students don't come from the country in which the MBA is located for the majority of European programs, and IMD is no exception. Another nice advantage is that you can take the opportunity to learn a new language or finally take advantage of those required language classes in college. In IMD's class, it will be more than one language, French and German. So 2 languages are fantastic, although it is in Lausanne. So that's always really cool. And last unique factor is that they are great for older candidates. The classes, the average class age tends to be around 30. IMD, it's even a little bit more. So if you're thinking about doing an MBA and feel like, oh no, I can't do it, I'm too old, you can. Yes, one last very, very, very good reason, ROI. Basically, it's a good deal. Take a look at HBS, for example. 2 years of Harvard tuition plus 2 years of opportunity costs, assuming a $60,000 a year salary. The real cost of the program is more than $300,000. IMD, as you can see, it's half that. A lot because the program is only 1 year. As you can see, the tuition expenses are about the same. But the fact that it's 1 year and you come out from this 1 year with similar opportunities, similar salaries, although there is a difference between Harvard and IMD and Harvard and Stone of a few $1,000s. But still, we're talking about really saving yourself time out of the workforce besides the money itself, which is also an important factor. So, how global are the programs really? Harvard, between 30 and 40%, depending on the year. So, about a third of Harvard students are international. IMD, 99% of students are international. Okay, not fair. It's a little bit easy for IMD, being that located in a really, really tiny country. So we assume that a lot of these international students also come from Europe, but Europe is not one country. But basically, the idea is really the schools are super international, 99% international students, 98% international faculty. Not only are the origins, the country of origin of students and faculty international, but also where people go after they graduate. So Harvard, typical for a US MBA program, 80, 90% of the graduates will end up working in the US. Whereas in IMD, people are really going all over the place. Majority in Europe, which is only natural given its location, so 43% going to Europe, 26% in Asia, nonetheless. Still, 9% go back or go to North America, 8% to Latin and Caribbean, 11% to Africa and Middle East. So a very, very good showing for Africa and Middle East, at least last year. Although the statistics can be change a lot from year to year, given that the class is so small. And Oceania, 3%. So, before we get into digging into IMD a bit, what are the major MBA programs in Europe? Most prestigious programs in general, it's debatable and it changes from year to year, but a bit. But in general, are considered INSEAD, LBS, and IMD. Other top excellent programs: Instituto Impresa, IESE, ESADA, Oxford, Cambridge, Warwick, Manchester, HEC, Rotterdam, Bocconi, Mannheim, Essex. Okay, there are more, but here's a good sampling for you. And if you're interested in, finding out what the other ones are based on your goals and your career and your industry, you can always talk to us, and we'll advise you there. So let's get down to the main objective today. Let's talk about IMD. As you can see, beautiful, beautiful Alps, beautiful clouds. Oh, what a lake. Shiny and pretty. That's Switzerland for you. Okay, IMD, Business in the Alps. IMD is really very, very different from your average MBA program. They have a very, very small class of 90, all right, which, unlike other MBA programs, which in general tend to have between 30 and 40% going to finance, 30 and 40% going to consulting, is made up mostly of industry jobs. So 25% of students going into manufacturing, 20% going into consumer goods. So really quite a different outlook and quite a different pool of people who are attending the school. So what's unique about IMD? Class of only 90, so not only small and intimate, but also exclusive. In a certain sense, it's almost an EMBA, not exactly. It's a regular MBA date that you program that you attend every day. Average age is 31, and average work experience is 7 years. So we're talking about 4 or 5 years above the U.S. average, both in terms of age and work experience. So if you're 22 years old, maybe you want to wait a little bit until you apply to IMD. Very strong focus on general management, so generalists, and you may be surprised to learn, a free 5-star class lunch every day. That's not a joke. Free lunch every day. That sounds good. Free lunch. Everybody says there's such thing as a free lunch. Here, there's such thing as a free lunch. We'll ignore the fact that you paid $93,000 a year to get this free lunch, but still, pretty cool. So IMD is really the exclusive destination for company leaders of tomorrow, especially in Europe. So who is the IMD MBA? They are older. Average age for IMD students is 30, 31. They come from and go into industry jobs. IMD grads are especially strong in industry, manufacturing, consumer goods, healthcare, and tech, but others as well. Yes, banks do recruit at the IMD. It is, after all, a Swiss school, but the focus here is really on industry leaders. They are financially savvy in the sense that getting in and out in a year, saving a whole lot of money, not just on tuition and living expenses, but opportunity cost as well, which kind of, to be honest, fits in with this older kind of profile. So at 30, 31, 33, 34, 35, majority of candidates don't necessarily want to take those 2 years off of work at the later stage in their careers. And IMD is very, very international. Your average IMD student speaks not 2, not 3, but 4 languages, okay, Switzerland. And 92% of students, a very interesting fact, have worked on an international level for at least 6 months. So you want to see how you can use that to your advantage, what kind of international experience you have. Which is a perfect segue into our application tips. First application tip, who you are is more important than your scores. At this point of your career, especially given the fact that it's a little bit older, a little bit more experienced, really what you've done, the companies you have worked for, your placements, whether you've had placements abroad, whether you've had leadership, much, much more important than your scores, which tend to be more important, especially in US MBA programs. Very, very important that you fit with IMD and its location, meaning this idea of older, of coming from industry, of being international. So if you're a 20-year-old gung-ho consultant who's ready to, after 2 years of working for McKinsey, jumping into IMD, it may not exactly be for you. There are other amazing, fantastic programs that will be happy to take you on. But as IMD does seem to prefer older candidates from leadership positions, from industry, you may want to see how you can tweak your application so that it fits in better to them and show that good side of you. Next, play up your internationalism, especially if you have work experience in Europe. I've had several clients really push this very, very heavy, and those who had this real deep experience, it's really helped them a lot at IMD. If you have leadership experience, it's a big bonus, and international leadership, even better. Fit your career and goals with IMD's general management program, and of course, like intimacy, given that the program is so intimate. Bottom line, IMD's prestige, amazing placement rates, and fantastic return on your investment make it an amazing choice if you are set on having an international business career. And here you see the lovely room at IMD, and here are some of us. All right, so that was my presentation to you of IMD. I hope it was helpful and informative, and really a fantastic program that doesn't necessarily get all the press that it deserves. Maybe in part because it's so small and exclusive, but really one of the top European programs. If you have any further questions and you'd like to find out more about IMD or INSEAD or HEC or any of the other fantastic European programs, just visit our website, drop us a line, say hi. We'll be happy to talk to you and help out.